You guys, we are working on an old 1970s ironing board I found at the thrift store for $10, and we're going to turn it into a window table, or you can put it behind your sofa, like a sofa table, an entry table. They turn out really beautiful, and I'm actually going to be doing something different than I have before. I'm going to be doing farmhouse. Everyone sees me do blues and purples and pinks and all the crazy beautiful colors that I really love, but sometimes you just want to do something that's simple and looks like it was pulled out of a barn, and that's really hip and chic right now. We've done so far on this piece, we've taken some TPS and some degreaser, and we have cleaned this sucker down really, really well and got all the oils from your fingers that are on there. We got all the dead skin cells that'll build up on it. We got it pretty much clean, and we allowed the top to dry a bit. I'm not even going to worry about doing the base and sanding it. It was just important to get any type of oily substance off, and we did pretty well using the TPS. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to sand in case you haven't sanded before. So one of the things that people ask all the time is, what grit sandpaper do I use? Well, I like to start off with like an 80 grit sandpaper. This one is pretty much beat up. It's got a ways to go, but you can see that there's like this gummy stuff on the sandpaper. That's like skin cells and old waxes and stuff, and that gums up. So it's really important, if you have that on your surface, to scrape it off. So I like to start with the 80 grit, and I'm going to show you what to do with that. You're going to use that to get the bulk of your top off. So you can see here's where I've sanded, and the rest of this I haven't really got going on. But you're also going to want to follow the grain of the wood. So here we go. You'll also get this like flare up that I have here where the wood was kind of rough, and that's why we're going to change to a higher grit sandpaper. So we're going to take our 80 grit off, and we're going to move over to a 220. Of course, you can go to 120, which is, I would like a 120, but I'm out, so whatever. We're going to use the 220, and it'll work just the same. It'll just give me a smoother finish. I kind of wanted a little bit more rusticy, but that's okay. But we got to get these big frays off of the wood. Also, if you use too low of a grit, you're going to get these little spirals from your sander, your orbital sander. So it's really important to make sure that you don't use too high of a grit, or do that and then use a finer grit to hide and buff away all those harsh abrasion marks that you make with an orbital. So here we go with the 220. sanding this baby. If you feel it, it feels like a baby's bottom. Tell us what that is. Isn't that nice?
Oh yeah.
And all those little furry spots that came up are gone and smooth. It's nice and clean, and it's a nice base for us to turn around and do some farmhouse colors. So we're gonna be using our gray, we're gonna be using our white. Maybe I'll get in there with something a little fancy. Maybe I'll pull some Poseidon in there or something neat. So, all right, guys. Well, I'll tune in once I get the camera. Sorry. Once I get the camera turned back on inside the studio, because now we're done with the dirty work. We can play with the messy, fun work. All right. Well, we're here to do our farmhouse on this tabletop. You should show them what we found. Wait till you see the cool stuff we found.
Here you go. Picture for a header.
Look at this, the Kansas City Star from 1970.
Where were the
June 28th, 1970. That's whenever this was done. And here's the Kansas City Star talking about the Royals going against the Angels. We've got a whole bunch of them. There's this one that is just hilarious. You guys are going to think it's funny. Look at this. A woman designer styles a midi for protesting men to wear. They're skirts for men. Protesting in skirts. I thought it was hilarious. What they were protesting back there then was women's rights. So it's pretty cool. All right, well, let's get started on our farmhouse that we're gonna go for. All right, so I have our unicorn spit in the weathered daydream, our whitening, and a spray bottle of water. You can get these spray bottles at the hair salon, and let me show you how cool they work. Or at Sally's Beauty Salon. Watch this. It's like a spray paint water bottle. So, right? Then squirting a whole lot all the time. So a lot of people ask, well, do you have to use wood conditioner with unicorn spit like you do other stains? Well, because our stain doesn't have top coat in it, no plastics. The only thing you need to condition your wood is some moisture on your wood. You just want to open that grain up with a little bit of water. You don't want it to be dry. You want it just to open up, revive it, rehydrate it. Oh, I love this water bottle. I'm gonna have to order some of these for the website, I think. All right, so you just want to rehydrate it. You don't want it sopping wet, but you want it to be, I'm not gonna say it, moist. You want it to be damp. I said moist. Dawn hates it when I say that word. Here we go. You can see where it's real dry and thirsty. So you're gonna get it nice and moist on the top. Damp, for those who hate the word moist. Okay, so you're going to start with the whitening. And I'm just gonna make some little stripes down it here and there. Then I'm gonna come in with some of the weathered daydream. I'm applying it, as you can see, going with the grain of the wood. You don't want to go against it. We want this to look pretty natural. Now the gray is pretty strong, because you can get all the way to a charcoal with it. You're going to wet your brush. It's also like priming your brush.
So how wet are you making them? Okay.
Drippy wet. All right, and we're going to actually start from the middle, bring it all the way to the edge, and work our way back. Remember, if you don't like how it turns out the first time, you can always add more. And I don't want full coverage. I want some of the natural brown wood coming through. But I am doing brush strokes that are flattering to the piece, which means that I'm following the grain of the wood. Here we go. You can always add more. See how thirsty that wood is? Go ahead and add some more water. Water is your friend with unicorn spit. All right, we're gonna make this look like old barnwood.
And you're not wiping the brush at all.
No. Just keep stripes going. Just blend, blend, blend. It's very easy to blend unicorn spit. It is simple, easygoing concoction. And this brush makes blending really easy because it's so stout. See how thick that is? That's at least an inch thick. And it's oval. So you get thin, thick, thin, and it helps you blend really easy. I really like this brush. And I'm going to go ahead and hit my edges. And get that gray up on there. And again, I'm just using whatever's left over in my brush. If I feel like it's thin, I'm going to reactivate what's in my brush by giving a little dab of water. And then just punch that right into that wood grain along that edge there. You can see it just sucks right into that wood like it's no problem at all. All right. Now remember, with unicorn spit, how it's going to look when it's wet is how it's going to look after your top coat. It dries to a chalky finish. It looks lighter. So if you think this is too dark for farmhouse, which I think it might be a little bit too dark for farmhouse. What do you think?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
I don't know. That's awfully pretty, huh?
Plus, you're going to stencil?
Yeah. I'm going to do a little stenciling on it too, so I can do boho farmhouse. I'm going to try to make a new style of farmhouse that I'm attracted to, because I don't really like the sign that says farm. I grew up with a farm in the backyard, and I stole Henry's eggs, and I rode on the little sheep one time. He had a sheep, and I jumped on it, and it kicked me off. And I was a little farm girl. I'd go down there to Henry Mussman's barn all the time, but I've never been like a farmhouse kind of gal. I've always, like in high school, I had blue hair. So, you know, so I'm going to come in with a little bit extra whitening. Just some little random drips here and there. And I'm going to mist it one more time. Okay. Here we come in with a little bit more whitening, just to lighten it up and make that stencil I'm going to do really pop. It's going to make it look a little bit more weathered than it was before. Again, just all the way from one end all the way to the other. Nice straight strokes so that it resembles the wood grain. So that's pretty easy blending there. Just gonna straighten my strokes out here. There we go. So unicorn spit, because it doesn't have any plastics in it or anything, you don't have to worry about getting it hot and expelling toxins into the air from heating up plastics. I don't know if like latex, they'll put off a fume that's not good for you. But unicorn spit doesn't have it. So I'm gonna dry one side so you guys can see what it looks like. Compared to when it's wet. You can see that it's turning dry. It gets like a chalky finish, so it'll just start showing up right before your eyes. This is an indicator that's really helpful to me as a mom, really helpful to me as a caregiver, and helpful to me as an artist, because then I never make a mistake and run my fingers through wet paint to see if it's dry. It tells you it's dry when it turns to this chalky kind of finish that you see here. But when you do the top coat, it'll look like this again. So this is just an indicator. It's not that your colors are leaving. It's just that it's telling you that it's dry in that spot, so you don't overheat or overwork any area. See how easily that goes. When you do this, it also raises the grain of your wood, which means that it makes the harder parts of the wood come up, and really it'll show off the grain if you do a very light sanding after this. And I'll show you that too, so you can see more of the wood grain in this. It works better on more marbly looking wood than it does this one. I think what we're using here is like a pecan. There's not very many grain in it. It's pretty monotone type of wood. There's no big strong grain in any of it. So, but as you can see where the stripes are, that's the grain of the wood. That part is raised, so it's drying faster than what's in the bellies below. Alright, so we're just blow drying this, getting all the spots that are wet. You can tell which spots are wet by where it's dark and light. So you can see this side I haven't blow dried yet. This side I have. All right, that's good enough for me. I'm gonna let the rest of that dry on its own. From here, I'm gonna go straight to stenciling. So this is a gigantic stencil, you guys, huge. It comes in 2 parts and it's a giant one. I'm only gonna be using half of it because I kind of wanna do something that's kind of off-centered, a little bit more boho. This is the Radiant stencil from Cutting Edge. This is the Mandela. So I'm gonna use this plastic here. I'm a recycler, so. Right. So we're gonna put this stencil down. All right. And this is just some spray adhesive that I got at our local Hobby Lobby. It's Stencil Ease. So it does stink though. I'm gonna warn everybody. It does have a scent that I'm not crazy about. So I would recommend doing this outside, but for filming purposes, I'm taking the risk for you. So here we go. Okay, last little part. I don't know what part of the stencil I'm going to use, so I'm just going to go ahead and thoroughly coat the whole thing. What I like about this adhesive is that you can reuse it after you've applied it once. You're just going to let it dry and become a little bit tacky before you apply it. So in this jar, I have something that I call pinchy powder. And what pinchy powder is, you add it to your unicorn spit, or you can add it to my metallics like you see here on my Poseidon, and it turns it into a beautiful paste that's easy to use on stencils and will make it so that you don't get bleed lines. So you use 3 scoops of this to 1.5 ounces of spit or the metallics or the sparkling, and you get yourself this wonderful stenciling paste that is non-toxic, smells like jasmine, and eliminates all your bleed lines, so you get nice sharp lines with your stencils. Just want to mix it up and give it about 20 minutes to develop. How are we going to lay this stencil? Do you think we should do it off kilter like that? Well, we got to fill in this area. Okay, we're going to put that down like a big sticker. Just take our hands and just sticker it down. Now this is gonna be boho, so I'm gonna be okay with it not having super sharp lines because I'm actually gonna give it a more of a distressed look even after I'm done doing this process. And for this one, like the screen print ones, I like to use a little rubber scraper to scrape it on, but with this one, I'm actually gonna just use my, I don't know. I'm gonna have to fill it out. All right. Getting all the little dust particles off. There's a hair. Is Whiskey in his bed? Yeah. He's sleeping. All right, so here's the pinchy powder. You're just going to stir it up every time you use it. Whatever you don't use, you can just keep it in a little container. I get 6 of these little containers for $1 at the dollar store, and they have little tops. Okay. So here we go.
So that's still staying pretty translucent.
Yeah, I don't want, if I wanted it full coverage, I can make this thicker, but I'm not interested in a raised area. I just want it to be kind of washed in looking. Right. So you can see none goes to waste. You kind of trowel it on. And whatever you don't use, you can scrape off your little scraper and put it right back into the bucket to be used another day.
I can see where you wanted that base lighter.
Yeah.
It dries so differently though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to judge it.
Mhm.
You must really know your colors.
I know what it's going to look like when it's wet is what it's going to look like when it's dry. Oh, see, that one bled under, but I'm okay with that. So this area here, it bled under. I can see where it did there. I must not have gotten enough glue on it. Now, those self-adhesive stencils that are like the silk screen like ones, those work really good with the pinchy powder. All right, and if you don't have one of these, you can always use a clean brush. This is a cling on too. And what you would do is tap it, and that goes even faster. It gives you an evener stroke with this large of a stencil. With the screen stencil, it's like on cloth, and it's a little bit easier to do with the scraper and the paste. But remember, I didn't heavily glue this one. I kind of want it to be distressed and old and runny looking. So I'm okay with it. I'm gonna go ahead and blot off right here. Now with the vinyl stencil, the one that you cut on your Cricut or your Silhouette machine, that one will let you use the little scraper on, and you don't get any bleeds on that at all. But this big thick stencil, because it is thick, you could do raised with this as well if you just added quite a bit more of the pinchy powder to it. Here we go. Now this brush I used dry. I didn't wet it first because I really don't want it to absorb under that stencil. I'm going to try to get as straight of a line as possible.
Nice.
It's actually really pretty.
It's really pretty.
Isn't it pretty? I like where it bled here and there, and I'm okay with it bleeding because that glue didn't stick good enough. So it bled a couple places, but not that bad. I mean, if you think, I mean, those are really sharp lines here and there, but where I missed it, like right there's where I missed the glue, right there's where I missed glue.
A little bit over here.
A little bit over there, but I mean, that's sharp as can be. All right, so what we're gonna do, because you know me, we're going to weather it. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. Now we're gonna really take it to another level that you don't see very much, or maybe ever. I'm gonna see if I can't turn my camera for you. Oh, you stinker. Look at what it's doing now. Showing you all Dorothy. Okay, guys, I'm gonna show you how to do this. There goes my can. All right, here we go. You guys got a good view there? All right, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use our water again. And what we can see is happening is that green is activating the teal, and you're getting that drippy look that perfectly aligns with the stencil. Gonna follow it. So it looks like it was leaned up against the wall outside. Let that stream down. Just a little bit more. I love that look. So now she's streaming. All right, we're just gonna let that drip for as long as she'll go. And then I'm gonna take my blow dryer. Thank you. I think it needs to be a little bit longer right here, so I'm gonna help and direct those where to go. I'm gonna pull this back a little so you guys can see. Of the mess we've got going here. So now it's dripped. We're gonna go ahead and finish our project. We're gonna get that drip and that gray all back. And you'll see that gold reappear.
The pinchy powder, what helped it retain
The sharp line.
sharp line?
If you use SPiT just straight, it sometimes will go under, even on a plastic one. It just has the strength of it so strong. So this gives it a barrier and some girth and allows it to stream a lot easier, and just gives it some body. And what's nice about it is that it's cheap. A little bottle, a little thing of that, it's like $3 as opposed to buying the expensive stencil case that are on, that they have on the market today. This is just an inexpensive way to get the same effect without the big price tag. And it does a little bit more with being able to draw out that super pigment and allow it to do even more than just stenciling like you see here. You can do this with black as well, but I'm really liking this teal on here. It's really cool.
So what makes the gold stick or the brown stick?
I have no idea.
Okay. You just knew that it's separated.
I just knew that it's separate. Yeah, so I've got earth pigments and earth dyes and micas in the metallics. And so the mica seems to stay, but the dyes seem to run if you want them to. You just gotta keep them suspended in my secret thickener, and it's really hard to do without using any plastics. Using plastics is not a good thing for me because I play in the creek a lot, and I think about all those fish. They all have little microbes of plastic in them because the oceans and everything. I know it's just our paintbrushes being washed into the sink, but it's just a, you know, they call it your carbon footprint. Maybe this would be your carbon fingernail scrape. You know, I'm eliminating a little fingernail scrape. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is take one of my little cheapy brushes that I have, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to just kind of faux this gray coming over. And here, I'm not using a ton, I'm just going to kind of make it look like it fades off into this area by just applying it almost like an eyeshadow to that area, kind of dry. Just so it just blends all together. So it looks like it actually once did wrap all the way around. All right. Hit that real quick with my blow dryer. All right, there's our nice white light tones that we have. Now if you wanted to keep it this way, you could just spray it with some clear gloss. But I want it to be richer, more like it was when it was wet. So I'm gonna show you what I like to use. And I've been using it a lot lately, and I'm really digging it a lot. It's amazing. You won't believe this stuff. It's actually food grade as well. So this is so safe. You could have your baby help you put it on. This is butcher block oil from General Finishes, and I'm going to show you how to put it on. It's easy. Watch those colors come alive too. Now remember, if you wanted it whiter, you would use more white on this project, but remember I went with a deeper gray. It makes it a little darker. And it looks really dark now, but it will lighten up as it dries, because right now this wood is drinking it up. All you do is massage it right into that wood.
And that's not moving the spit.
No, it locks it in. It draws the spit in even deeper. your hand and you ever hear of oil rub bronze? Just want to push it into that surface. Now I liked it white. Now remember, if you liked it white, you would use a lot of white and very little gray. But this one, I want with a lot of gray. So see, it looks again like it did when it was wet. And it picked up the red tones and made a purple. Do you see it? It picked up the red tones in the wood with that blue, and it gave it a purple fill. Oh, wow.
Oh, it's really getting red now.
Yeah, it's blooming. That red wood this is made out of is really coming through. Then, it'll lighten back up a little bit, but it's sealed. Let that wood get hot and thirsty.
So once the oil dries, that's no longer going to be able to take on water.
Well, you want to cure it.
Yeah.
So you probably do 2 coats if you wanted to. You just buff it in with your hand, or you can buff it in with a brush, whatever you want. It's a super refined mineral oil that's food safe. They use it for butcher blocks and things like that.
But yeah, the SPiT won't run anymore.
You can see it's just buffing right into that wood like a permanent pledge.
And then if you wanted to put some color on top of it,
Yeah,
as
you
long
can
as
reapply.
this is dry,
You can
now
just,
you can put it
yeah,
on.
like if we wanted to make this whiter, like more white on it, we just get our brush. Like some people probably looked at it thinking, oh man, she should have left it that big bright white color. Well, I can still do that very easily by just, because it's not completely cured wood yet. Takes a couple of coats of that stuff. And draw a little bit more white in, we can. Right over that oil. Just blend. No mistakes. You just want to blend until your brush runs dry before you reapply. And take your hands in it and stretch it out. Get that thick spot, ball it up, roll it off.
I saw skin cells come on.
This wood right here, see how it furred up? All right. So we're gonna add a little more white straight to my brush. Oh, I flicked some over there. That must have been God's idea that I need to whitewash over that too. Just wet it. All right, see if I can get this into view for you guys. Oops. There we go. Don't cry. It's gonna be okay. Watch this, ready?
Oh.
It'll be okay. It just is gonna make it look a little bit like it stamped down in there. And because I'm doing it with a dry brush with the white, remember how I said that the grain raised? Right now, the only thing that it's sticking to, because of this type of brush that I'm using, it's only gonna stick to the high grain. It gives it a three-dimensional look. So all I did was take my brush and just kind of down deep in the very center of it, applied a little bit, okay? You take your water bottle, you wet it, take your fingers, distribute it, okay? So it's not a big glob anymore. Then gently let that brush fan out. And it's actually sticking to the stencil too. Then you can blend it out. So if you have strong spots like right here, let's make it look like we meant it to be like that. So I'm gonna just apply a little bit more on that edge. I really think that's cool looking.
Yeah.
I think it needs more of it over here though.
Yeah, right down in there.
All right, so let's do this again. Again, you just take your unicorn spit, this is the whitening, squeeze it into the inside of your brush, and it holds your water really nice. So again, you just take that, squish it through your brush a little bit. See, it gives you a nice little whitewash product. Then we're gonna do this again and get that real strong stroke. Let your brush kind of just fan out. Oh, look at, see that?
Yeah, no, it's pulling everything.
It's pulling all that grain design right up to the surface and highlighting just the tops of the grain. And I'm just doing this until my brush runs dry. All right. Wow, that's really pretty. Let's see if we can line it back up. I'm gonna try to make it really 3D looking. Really, really dry. Like the dry brush that I can get. And I'm just gonna do very small amount. Okay.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Yes,
That
you
really
got
did
Oh, I'm
it.
so glad you
Whoa.
redid that.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it makes it look like there's one behind it too.
Yeah.
I love it. So what's nice about that oil is that you can apply the oil, see if you like it, fix up and add anything you want to add, and then you can do it again and again and again. Eventually your wood will get cured, kind of like a cast iron pan. So you got to make sure you keep that in mind when doing it. The nice thing about the unicorn spit going on top of it, when we've done it really thin like that, it's actually going to absorb into the oil even, so you don't have to. If this isn't going to have water poured on it, you wouldn't even have to do another coat. I really like this one here. It's so easy and kind of free-flowing because it's not perfectly aligned. we're just going to see how it went to that satin finish. It's really pretty. And did you notice it also lightened up quite a bit? I'm gonna see how much it darkens up before I apply. That didn't darken up much. I think once we put that whitening on there, it really did it in. See how it does up here? Oh no, that's perfect. Look at that. Oh, I love this stuff so much. And this stuff's inexpensive too. It's $12 for this big giant bottle. You can seal your furniture with it. You can, everything. Remember, it gets really dark and then it goes light again, so don't freak out. I'm just gonna apply that on. I'm gonna let this layer sit and soak for a minute and let that board drink it up. It's just gonna drink it. Not only can you use it on that, but you can turn a piece of plywood into a food safe cutting board. So this is a cutting board that I did. And you can see that pretty finish on there. Isn't it a nice, beautiful satin finish? So it's just a piece of plywood that I got for $7 and burned it. So I'm gonna let this sit on there and you can see where it's thirsty. Just like SPiT, it absorbs. And you can start seeing little dry spots. And then all I have to do on the base is get a little bit of gray on my cloth and just wash it. And then when it's dry, wipe it with the oil again. It's so easy. And notice we're doing this in this little tiny room. There's no smell. The only thing that we did outside was we did the sanding because I don't want to clean up sanding stuff. There you go. Let it soak in. Wipe off the excess. Access or excess? Excess.
Excess.
And you can keep playing with it if you don't like it. You're gonna get it hot again so that it cures, kind of like a cast iron pan. It must be really dry. That's it. That is my rendition of Farmhouse. Of course, you can always do more, but you know, yes, you can watch this video again and again and again. And remember, if you really liked it the way that it was at the beginning where it was more white, you would just use more, where I used the gray, you would just do it all white in a very small, minute area. But I wanted more of the gray fox look that would naturally occur rather than the whitewashed look. I like the whitewashed look like we had in the beginning. I think it's really pretty, but I really wanted it kind of farmhouse boho looking, and I think I really got that.
You nailed
You
it.
got it.
I nailed it?
You
You
nailed
nailed
it.
it.
I nailed it! Woohoo! I love this piece.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna take it to the West Bottoms. I think I'm gonna put it in my window. I can never sell anything. It's crazy. I am terrible. Okay, it's gonna be really simple. If you want, I'll show you a little preview of how we're gonna do it. You just see its bottom there. So the bottom of the legs is brown, and that's what the thing started out looking like. Just going to add a little water to a fresh cloth. A little gray, a lot of white. Gonna smoosh it together once or twice, and I'm just gonna wash it on. Oh, sorry. And that's how you get the blending real easy, right on those little tiny pieces like that. And just buff it right into the wood. You could do it with a cloth. I think I'm gonna do it with this brush because it seems the cloth absorbs too much. So I'm gonna do 2 grays in there.
Is that the same brush you were using?
Uh-huh. And a big glob of white in the middle. Squirt some water in her. Get it in there. Work it around. This brush is pretty saturated, but it's okay. Oh, that's even easier than the cloth. two-tone, so easy. It's like one stroke painting for furniture. Done. Oh, that's so cool looking.
Yeah, really cool.
All right, guys, let me get my camera and I'll take you down here so you can see what we're seeing. Oh, I love
That is so nice.
All right, you guys ready to see her? Some up close? Here we go. Here we go, guys. Are you ready? Turn on the light. So here's our farmhouse. Boho farmhouse that we went with. And you guys can't really see, but that glow you see is gold and greens and teals. I hope you guys love this. I do.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Check out this base. So easy. You guys saw how I did that. It was took about 5 minutes to do the base of this table. All weathered looking. Two-tone. So you got your gray and your white. So you can always take your hand and smooth it a little bit more if you want it a little bit smoother. As you can see, it sticks to that high raised grain because we washed it first. It looks really pretty. So there it is, you guys. There's our farmhouse 1970s ironing board turned table. Perfect for a little entryway. Boho farmhouse. Put it behind the couch. Put a big mandala, or not mandala, Buddha on it. It would be really pretty. Could you imagine? So we've got a couple of things. I'm all about the base. I bet you are, Krista. Here, I'll bring you up to that stencil again. Remember, I did it twice. Once with the really sharp lines, so you can see there. And then I went over it again without it being real tacky and allowed it to kind of bleed after we did our colors, just to really bring it into definition. You can see it shining. It goes from green to gold, almost like a color shift. Well, I guess it is a color shift. That patina green. Isn't she beautiful? All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoy my little attempt of doing some farmhouse. I had to make it a little boho to fit me, but I'm honestly gonna say I really love it. And who knows? Maybe next time I'll do something else with these colors because I actually really love it. A whole lot. That is a beautiful picture, y'all. Gorgeous. Look at how it sat right in that grain. It is easy, Cheryl. You just got to do it. You just got to do it.